Well, one of the best things that AI can do, as opposed to merely recording a transaction, is it can actually monitor and interpret the behavior of the dealership employee, the F&I manager. And it can also capture the behavior in the words of the customer. So it creates a record of what really happened, and it gets the he said, she said off the table. Now, a year ago, one of the things we might have worried about the most is the F&I manager using terms correctly? Like APR is a defined term, but it only applies to the financing of a vehicle. It does not apply to a lease. So if you use the term APR in a lease transaction, that could be construed as being misleading or intentionally deceptive. Well, there's a new term in town as a result of the freshly issued CARS rule. Here's a copy of the CARS rule. This is my copy, and it is 382 pages long between the rule and its commentary. And a couple of us here at the office have had to read it and keep on reading it. But one of the things that AI can help us with is the conundrum in the CARS rule about a new term called express informed consent. That is a defined term, just like APR from 50 years ago. And you have to meet the standard of express informed consent. And it's almost defined in the rule in the negative. It says the following are examples of what does not constitute express informed consent. 1, a signed or initialed document by itself. Stop here for a moment. When I went to law school, when you sign a document, it indicates you've read it, you understand it, and you consent to it. This little sentence throws 1,000 years of contract jurisprudence out the window. Signing it no longer means I've read it, I understand it, and I consent to it.
Oh, time out. Ex-F&I manager here. You mean to tell me that having a client or a customer sign that document, that's no longer proof of disclosure?
By itself, that's a signed or initial document by itself does not equal express informed consent, meaning when the customer leaves the dealership, you don't know if you've sold the car. Wow. That's pretty serious stuff. But they don't tell us what is more. Well, I'll tell you what is more. Anomaly's AutoTrainer product contains the ComplianceTrainer product, which is also sold separately. And the ComplianceTrainer product it includes training. It actually has the training you referred to on 30 different modules on the federal laws and regulations that apply to the automotive transaction. So on top of just the signature or initials, we can prove that we have trained the F&I manager what to do. We can then monitor the F&I manager to make sure he's actually doing those things. For example, one of the things that requires express informed consent is the purchase of any add-on product. You have to provide the cost of the product, the impact on the monthly payment, and the total cost of the product, including the finance charge for the term of the financing. So we can listen and detect whether or not the F&I manager explained all of those elements for all of the products.
So for each product, we have to do the offering price, we have to do the finance charge on it, and we have to do the total.
Yes. And when you add that up, when we've trained the F&I managers how to do it, when we're listening to confirm they actually did it, that to us enhances the signature or initial. So it's not just signature or initial by itself, it's all these other elements brought to bear so that we can demonstrate this customer knew exactly what he was buying and exactly what it cost, and exactly what it cost if you just wanted to stroke a check and buy it retail or finance it. This is huge because your Compliance Trainer product isn't just a training component or an enhancement of your compliance. It actually is part of the compliance process itself. It both monitors it and it helps actually do it. That's big stuff.
That's big stuff. Absolutely.